Let's be honest. The retirement system in America is broken, and the old way of doing things is frankly a scam. You want to retire comfortably and protect your wealth, but you have to pause and ask yourself, who is benefiting from the retirement tools that I'm using? Is it me or is it Wall Street? And the very system itself that these tools you're utilizing live in is based on a failing dollar, a dollar that will not allow you to coast into your golden years feeling safe and protected anywhere close to the way that you've been promised. That much has been made clear. So, how can you see through all the deceit and fraud to protect yourself for this next chapter? We're going to break down together what's really going on, who's benefiting if it's not you, and get to the truth so that you can take action. Hi everyone, I'm Taylor Kenny with ITM Trading, breaking down complex financial topics so we can learn and grow together. There has never been a greater concern for how to protect yourself during retirement, especially with so many people realizing that the tools that have been made available to them have failed. If you want to live the American dream and as part of that retire comfortably, it is becoming a greater challenge every day. It is crucial for your financial future to understand the value of the declining dollar combined with the retirement tools such as 401ks that are making Wall Street richer, IRAs with high counterparty risk, and an almost defunded Social Security so that you can make the most educated decisions to protect yourself at this pivotal moment in time. You might be shocked to learn that the 401k was never created for you or the average American worker with retirement in mind. It actually originated as a one-off small tax break for rich executives that grew because of the benefit it provided to companies. There was never a committee or a decision-making process about how to support Americans' retirement, and if there was, I'm sure it would look a whole lot different than it does today, because the reality is that we've all been sold a lie. 401ks were never intended to be an American's golden ticket to retirement, and in fact, they benefit many people, but you might not be one of them. Imagine Wall Street's delight when they discovered that they could take money out of your paycheck with you blindly trusting them, putting it on autopilot before this money even ever touched your hands. You can almost hear the champagne corks popping in the background. If you think about it, it has never been easier to take money from unsuspecting Americans. Never has there been a financial tool where you invested regardless of the price, the economy, the fees. Nothing else like it exists. At no risk, all reward to Wall Street while you pay the price. Literally. Most people aren't even aware that their 401ks actually cost them anything. And if you're one of them, don't feel bad because it's set up that way. We all understand compounding interest. The more money you put in, the earlier you put it in, the more money you stand to gain over a long period of time. That's basic math. It's something that they make sure that you're well aware of in every 401k meeting since the program launched. But there is something they don't talk about very much, which is compounding costs. And there's a reason why. Your 401k fees typically range anywhere from 0.5% to 3% on average. Most of the time, these fees are hidden and hard to find. If someone does happen to find them, it's easy to brush them off and say, well, it's not that much. But that could not be further from the truth. Let's do a quick example together. A 20-year-old has $1,000 that they put into a 401k, assuming that there will be an 8% rate of return year over year. In 65 years, when that 20-year-old is 85, that $1,000 investment is going to be worth $150,000. Pretty impressive, right? Not so fast. Now let's look at that same example, but assume that instead of compounding at 8%, it's actually compounding at 5.5% because they're taking out 2.5% of fees. Not that much, right? Wrong. Over this same amount of time, that $150,000 is now worth $30,000. These fees are eating people alive and they don't even realize it. The data shows that the median amount saved in a 65 and older 401k in America is $80,000. $80,000 in Social Security, do you really think that that's something you're going to be able to live on? You have been sold a pack of lies. Now, I would never tell someone what they should do with their 401k or what's best for them personally, but there is something I challenge you to do, and that is to go to the money manager of your 401k and ask them, Why isn't my balance larger? Why don't I have more money in here? And I bet you that they're going to say that it's because you haven't done enough, that it's your fault. You didn't put in enough money. You didn't put in enough money early enough. And in fact, you should probably give them more money right now. They will blame you every single time. And our government is in on this too. They even went as far as to create automatic 401k enrollment in 2006 with the Pension Protection Act. So instead of having to opt into this retirement option, you now actually had to opt out, making you feel like if you chose that this wasn't the right tool for you, that you were somehow sacrificing your financial future. And it benefits the government because in that case, if you don't have enough money to retire and survive, oh, it's your fault, not ours. And of course, the government loves it because they still collect taxes on 401ks. Tax deferred is the biggest scam of all. Their greatest fear is having people protect their wealth outside of the system in something like physical gold, physical silver, things that they can't control. If you get out from under their thumb, that is their greatest fear. But what impacts you the most at the end of the day isn't government greed or Wall Street or even hidden fees. No, it is the loss of your purchasing power. I just used an example of $1,000 return on 401k investment over a period of time with and without fees. But the most criminal part of all of this is that it doesn't even matter because the dollar is worth so much less than whatever it is when you save it or when you go to cash it out. 65 years ago, the dollar was worth 10 times what it is today. 65 years ago, $100,000 was worth over $1 million today. So at the end of the day, that's the most important component because it's a losing game if the actual value of the dollar is declining, which is why more and more people are waking up and realizing that any asset that is tied to the fiat currency of the US dollar is running a serious risk. Whether that's the stock market or anything else, you are going to be running a risk. That's why I ask you right now, do you have control over your retirement? Can you say with certainty that there is no counterparty risk? Because purchasing power aside, almost everything still carries significant counterparty risk. Whether it's banks failing, the government unable to repay its bondholders, some other counterparty in the stock market failing to uphold their obligation, the list goes on and on. This also applies to IRAs, even gold IRAs, which I get asked about all the time. Now, of course, it's terrific to diversify your portfolio, and it's no secret that I think everyone should own gold because it is the true money. But that being said, there is a huge difference between a gold IRA and physical, tangible gold. Primarily being the fact that there is still a counterparty. Anytime you have a custodian who is handling your money in charge of storage, charging you a fee, you have risk. When you have physical, tangible gold in your possession, it's just you. There's no counterparty. Therefore, there's no counterparty risk. You have to make a decision that's best for you. But first and foremost, I want to make sure that everyone is educated. Thanks to abysmal monetary policy and government corruption that has let Wall Street run wild, we are now in a situation where we are forced to take control and take our power back into our own hands. Because if we don't, what are we left with? A declining dollar? Social Security, the same Social Security whose trust fund is set to be depleted by 2033? That's in the next 10 years. And when that happens, benefits could be cut by 25%. To start, we know we have an aging population, and those numbers are only going to get worse. We were sold a pack of lies that were built on a faulty foundation from the start. We have this belief that we're owed these things, and it makes sense. It's been drilled into our heads that if we work hard, if we contribute to Social Security, if we put money into our 401k from a really early age, if we make smart decisions, then we will be able to arrive at the promised land, the American dream of retirement, and cruise into the sunset. But the reality is it's happening for so many millions of Americans is that they are waking up, crunching the numbers and realizing that they don't have enough, or what they do have is rapidly disappearing in front of their very eyes because the value of the dollar is just not there. I know this is a lot to take in, but if even once during this video you paused to yourself and thought, that could be me, or maybe that's something I should look into. It is not too late to get a strategy in place. I urge you, whether you're looking at that next chapter in 20 years, 2 years, or you're already there and you want to make sure that your future family is protected and set up for success, then click the link in the description below and get a strategy in place today. It is not too late. Thank you all so much. I'm Taylor Kenny with ITM Trading, breaking down complex financial topics so we can learn and grow together. If any of this was beneficial for you, please like, share, subscribe. It helps so much, and I know that we are not alone in this, so it really helps to get the message out there. I appreciate all of you so much. Until next time.